think if we talk of active threat, I believe there is very little. But there is a potential threat. And the threat is not exactly military. Nation states do have competing interests, and these competing interests create rivalries. And if one party can gain an upper hand and gain advantage out of a situation, they would do so.
We have to view the threat as it appears on the ground.
Over 70% of India's Army, Navy and Air Force is actually positioned and deployed against Pakistan. So it's a Pakistan-specific military capability that produces a sense of threat, a sense that Pakistan could be dominated by a hegemonic power. That is the problem.
And this is the reality that appears on the ground.
If you look at Indian military hardware, tank formation, armored formations, aircraft, missiles, all kind of conventional capability that India has, it can be used against Bangladesh, against Burma, against China because of Himalayan barriers. It can't be transported to the Middle East. It is targeted against Pakistan.
The Indian military hardware is viewed by Pakistan as an actual physical threat to its existence. Out of the 13 corps that constitute the Indian Army, 8 have been deployed to counter any offensive that may originate from Pakistan.
And India has embarked on a very ambitious plan of blue water navy, very strong air force, very large ground forces. So when next door somebody has this capability which can be materialized into attacking your country and trying to occupy parts of it, so it's a real threat. And then there's a history. The way unfortunately we partitioned and we brought scars, against each other. And as soon as we were a free country, then Kashmir war started. And after that, there was 65 war. There was 71 war in which India actually attacked our East Pakistan. Otherwise, never ever East Pakistan could have been separated by Mukti Bahani alone.
The importance of military mechanism to counter the threat is reflected in the defense budgets for each country. In 2008-2009, Pakistan allocated approximately $3.5 billion for defense expenditure. That figure was elevated to just over $4 billion for the fiscal year 2009 and 2010. Compare that with India's defense budget, which was at $19.8 billion for the financial year 2008-2009, and in the current fiscal year, which will see India spend approximately $26.5 billion, which sees an increment of 34.19% from the previous year.
Most people believe that India is a threat. They believe this, but it's wrong. We must argue this out, and I've been writing on this and speaking about it for 20 years, but nobody listens. People are obsessed with this. It's very popular to say India, Jad karo, all that. And I think this is absolutely ridiculous. There's no threat. They've got other things to do. If they can't swallow Pakistan, even if they invaded Pakistan, took it over, imagine what mess they'll be in. Already we are in a mess, and you can imagine what will happen in India. They never thought, in 60 years, they're not aggressed against us. Let us be realistic. We are the ones that have always started fighting.
The message that has been wrong from the beginning, not just now. And like I said, even if we were to take for granted that there is something insidious about what India is doing, the question is really, what are the options? I mean, Can Pakistan ever really match India? Is that possible, given how much bigger it is, given how much more territory it has? What is the point? Besides, I think it's important to go back to this whole question of, in fact, what the state itself posits as the explanation for partition. Right? Let's go back to that. The state of Pakistan says partition had to happen because Hindus and Muslims could not live together, right? And we had to have a separate state. So, isn't it a bit strange that after we created that separate state, that we remained just as obsessed with Hindu India? I mean, surely that was the point. Did we not realize that when we created a separate state that new tensions could emerge? So, there's contradictions in our narrative, whichever way you look at it.
I don't think it is very useful to actually live in history, because if you live in history, you're mired in history. You can never step out of the shadow of the past.